We go.
We're live in 3.
I was doing my head thing like Wayne's World.
Yeah, I was too. Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
And this is the Halloween Almost Never Daily podcast.
That's the best thing about this podcast is that we tell you something in one way and we're going to lie about you and tell you things the next day. That's what we do. We said we were going to have Halloween updates every day. Kind of, almost, maybe, but not really. Welcome to the show, you fuckheads.
It's like my wife in bed. It's all lies.
Well, that's my life with any girl. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to sell a big game, but it's going to be, 5 good all hard inches. So let's work with it.
There's nothing wrong with that, my friend. That's perfectly
Let's
average.
work with it.
Like this podcast. So today, there's no new Halloween news, okay? There's nothing great, grand, big at all. But
except for this. Here's a big one. I did find this out today through a cousin that knew the person on the set. Jamie Lee Curtis will be returning for Halloween Kills.
Oh my
I don't know.
God.
It's a bombshell. It's a bombshell.
How'd you crack the case?
I don't know. At this point right now, I'm seriously considering a private detective, private investigator.
In all seriousness, Esquire.com put out while I'm searching the interwebs for Halloween news, and there is none, which is fine with me, by the way. I don't need Halloween news every day. I'm kind of against all the behind the scenes shit. We'll cover it. We'll fucking cover the shit out of it, Jim.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. I really want to go into the movie immersed and feeling brand new. We don't have that luxury because we have to talk about Halloween all the time because we love to talk about Halloween all the time. But
yeah,
I'm actually glad. I'm glad that there's not been a whole lot of news. Like, give it a rest, man. Let them make the fucking movie.
Get the net.
Now, there was a huge spoiler that one channel in particular was saying that somebody, like a fan off the set, was apparently giving them like the lowdowns. And I've talked to some people that are there too and gotten some spoilers. But most of that shit that I've gotten from those people, I would never tell everyone because it really does ruin a major fucking plot point in the movie. And I'm like, that's just fuck. You don't want to tell them that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let there be.
I think we both said that before. It's a torn titty situation because on one hand, it's really cool to know all this neat stuff and you're like, oh my God, that's fucking awesome. And let's definitely talk about it and explore it with each other sexually and not so. But also you want to make sure that, like you said, you want to go in and be surprised in the theater and you're like, fuck, I didn't see that coming. When did Jason's machete show up? When was that a thing? Yeah. Like, I don't know, like just wild and crazy kids things. And that's what, but again, we're kind of in a position, we're thankful to be in the position that you guys are out there listening and wanting us to discuss things about Halloween. So that's a good thing. But the bad thing is sometimes it's like, fuck, I really don't want to. You want to be like Brittany Murphy and don't say a word.
Yeah. And I definitely wouldn't ruin it for everybody because, dude, I'm not going to lie to you. If I saw that, someone told me what the guy had said, and I was like, God, I can't believe that they made a video or that he made a video on that. But when they told me that, I was like, well, I want to know, like, so go ahead and finish telling me, because I don't have it in me to be like, no, don't tell me, or whatever. I would just rather not exist in the ether. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to be like, if there's a trailer, like, okay, if the trailer leaked tomorrow and they were like, oh, we left a huge spoiler in there, please don't go watch it, I'd be like, fuck that shit, I have to see it, and I'd ruin the movie for myself. So I don't know.
Well, I think that we both suffer from that though, because I always do that too sometimes. Like if Mike sees a movie before me or somebody else sees it, or I'll be like, yeah, I'm here. I was like, if Mike sees a movie before me or somebody else sees it, and I'm like, well, what happened? You're like, I mean, do you want me to tell you? Because it's gonna ruin the movie. It's like, go ahead and fucking tell me. I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't really want to know. But then I was like, I just want to know. And then I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have known that. But now I do. But it doesn't. For me, it doesn't. I mean, for certain movies, it doesn't really ruin it if I know the plot or if I know the big spoiler drop. But for something like Halloween, or like something that's that we both love so much, like that. Like I remember Mike was actually a decent friend, surprisingly once. That he didn't give me the spoiler. Yeah. No, Mike Sartine. But
that doesn't sound like me.
But no, for Endgame, Mike wouldn't give me the spoilers on it. Like he teased it out. I'm like, fuck. But
But I wanted to tell you too.
I know.
I had to share it so badly. But no, I mean, like, I don't know. I forgot what the fuck ever I was gonna say. Well, what I was saying, the people who go and they take all that in, some of them are gonna be the same fucking people who are complaining about the movie after it comes out and going, there was no surprises. That shit was boring as hell. It's like, because you knew everything about the fucking movie before you went to see it, you know.
And
don't get me wrong, you guys. We will cover everything that comes out. Like all the news that comes out. If it comes out, we'll cover it. I'm just not going to leak shit about the movie that I know. Because to me, it goes against the fucking studio that's trying to make the movie for everybody. You know what I mean?
But I
Like,
will take a leak.
Yeah, I'll take a leak in the toilet.
But I'm not going to leak the info.
But, you know, if somebody comes to me and I'm talking to them in personal messenger and it's somebody I trust not to say anything and they ask me something about it and they really want to know, I'll tell them. You know, I don't have all the answers, but I'll tell them something if I did know it. But I would never make a fucking video and leak that shit for the people hard at work trying to make us a fucking movie. So that's all I'll say about it. But anyways, before we get into this story I want to get into, there is one other.
Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Uh-huh. You gonna fart? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. Sorry, I was getting a phone call from Danny McBride giving me a spoiler. I didn't want to ruin it anymore.
Sorry, John Carpenter's watching basketball in my living room. Let me just throw.
He's right. John, stop. God, John, I'm gonna have to pick up a new thing of Glade. You farting so much.
Anyways, something big did happen today, and that is that we hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Holy fuck!
Yes, we did. And it's been 8 years since we started that YouTube channel. Well, 7, almost 8 in January. And we finally hit 100,000. So thank you guys for that. That's fucking amazing. And the live stream is going to be Saturday night, tomorrow night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. We're going to hang out for 2 or 3 hours and get fucking wild in celebration.
Get your KY jelly, get your porn magazines ready, and we're going to make sure that you're all the way ready to go deep down under the blue sea. What? It doesn't matter what that makes sense or not. Just get sexual with it. We're gonna have a great time.
Open the gates to your fallopian tubes.
It's like the one place, the one club that we tried to get into for years. And they were like, those guys fucking suck. They're not coming in here. And then somehow through luck and getting to know people, we finally get into this 100,000 subscriber club. And those same people that said fucking keep those trash bags out, they're like, what the hell? How many dicks did you suck to get in here? It's like at least 100,000. At least 100,000.
Lots of wieners.
In a row.
Yeah, man. So thank you guys for that. But we won't make the podcast about that because the podcast is a new thing. That's this is based on our YouTube channel. And if you're listening to us on the podcast, you don't know about our YouTube channel. I don't know how the fuck you found us, but that's awesome. We've been ranking weirdly fucking like uncomfortably high in iTunes. I don't know how the fuck it's happened.
Yeah,
so
guys, we're beating Jericho. That's because we can beat Jericho not only on iTunes, but we can beat him in real life in wrestling.
To be fair, though, we are only beating Jericho in film reviews, which I don't even know if he does.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we don't even understand what's happening. Like Jericho would whoop our ass and put us in the lion tamer. He's awesome. I love him.
But yeah, it's fucking cool though, man. So thank all you guys who are here from YouTube and all that shit. And if you're not, go check out the YouTube channel. So all right, moving on with the story.
All right,
not the story, but it's fucking crazy. This is the kind of shit I love to talk about. Esquire.com, like Esquire, like fancy fucking Esquire. I saw somebody the other day on Twitter from Bloody Disgusting. I think it was, maybe it was Dread Central or something like that. But they posted, they were like, yes, October, the time of year where all these sites who couldn't give a fuck about horror movies act like they're film connoisseurs of the horror industry all of a sudden. Because, Halloween. Yeah.
Who was he throwing shade at?
That's so spicy of you.
Oh he's totally gonna fucking win prom king.
This Esquire.com, the writer's name's Justin Kirkland. So, Justin, if you're listening to this, what I'm sure you're fucking not. This was just posted on September 28th. This is his every movie in the Michael Myers Halloween series ranked. This is his ranking of the Halloween series.
Who?
So, I'm not going to shit on anybody's opinion. I mean, I am going to shit on this because I took a gander at it and whoo! Let's
get diarrhea on it.
So we're going to shit all over it, but I just want you to know, Justin, it's not personal. And I'm glad that you have your opinion, man, and you have a right to it, my friend. And the articles.
But get ready to get fucked.
Your choices are just.
The choice is made. The traveler has come.
You make a mistake in tongue. It makes it so bad. Some of them are okay. All right, let's go with the last one. His worst Halloween movie of all time, number 11, is Halloween 2, 2009. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Makes sense.
That's all right. I can go with that.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it's two. There's two right answers to that, three. The right answer is whatever the fuck you want it to be. But the two right answers in my mind is either Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, or the right answer, the right answer, and that's Halloween Resurrection. Would you agree?
How about they both suck asshole? I'll take
Mm-hmm.
A and B.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a coin toss. Like
It's
you
always a
can
fight for last place.
yeah, those guys, the Halloween Resurrection and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 can fight for the last piece of corn in the turd all they want, and that's
Yeah.
all they'll be. But yeah, I could go with Halloween 2 being the only thing I would give Rob Zombie's H2 though slightly over. I didn't like fucking goddamn Busta Rhymes, but it was the fact that the first 30 minutes of that movie is pretty dope. Like it was really really good and really well shot. And when he was in the hospital, but it was all a dream sequence. But Rob Zombie did have that at least. But still, yeah, it was still a shitty movie.
Right on. Agreed. And some people, and you know what, I got to throw this in there. Some people love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 as like an R tour version of Halloween, a tour, and I get that. I totally understand why people love that movie. Who love it? I don't because he shit on the characters themselves that I
Yeah,
am so
I
fucking
think he was
into.
just trying to make it as disgusting as he possibly could, just to say it's my movie,
Yeah,
and I'll make it my way.
yeah. Okay, here's number 10 though. This is where it starts to get a little fucked up in my mind.
All right,
And you, number 10, the second worst Halloween movie of all time to him is Rob Zombie's Halloween of 2007.
get the fuck out of town, Jack Beanstalk.
Yes, for all the problems we have with Rob Zombie, and some of the Rob Zombie problems are definitely present in this fucking movie. Don't get me wrong, they are. There's a lot of stupid Rob Zombie fucking shit in this movie, but he had a big fucking mean Michael Myers that he, for the most part, stuck to the script on and kept him the same character. Malcolm McDowell did a great job as Loomis. Laurie Strode was played amazingly by Scout Taylor Compton.
Yeah, that movie is a complete reimagining of John Carpenter's Halloween classic. It's a little edgier, it's a little bit more visceral in its approach. And I mean, and I don't like the backstory part of it at all. But for
Mm-mm.
the most part, everybody did their characters justice. For the most part, I don't like. Well, no, even Scout Taylor Compton's Lori, she wasn't skanky yet. In Halloween Rob Zombies 2, she was skanky hoe. But
Yeah,
in the remake, she wasn't bad at all.
I still
You know,
would have, by the way.
oh my God, I would do yeah the skankiness. I don't care if she smells like pee. But the thing about Rob Zombie's Halloween is that yeah, unfortunately he is the best ever at cinemat like not the best ever, but one of the best I've ever seen at cinematography and just raw talent to be a great movie director and a movie maker. But he's
But
just
it's
so
not.
fucking he's so full of himself and STDs that he can't see past his own fucking nose. Like he's so ego driven that he doesn't take advice from anybody. And he's like, well, you don't like my shit? Then I'll make Dracula. And then he'll make his own bullshit anyway, and it'll be terrible. But either way, in this particular movie, also, he worked within some constraints and confines of the original movie. He had to, because the studio was like, no, you're not going to do this weird unicorn bullshit with your naked, big tittied wife running around on it. Not yet, anyway. Make this movie the way it's supposed to be. And he had to work within a confinement. So it was a good movie. I don't put Rob Zombie's Halloween that fucking low.
Yeah, agreed. And before we go any further, I do want to point out that we do know that Rob Zombie was not the cinematographer on Halloween. What we mean when we
No,
say
we're
that
not
is he has
saying,
a
yeah,
great
yeah.
eye for cinematography. His movies always have a certain look to them. Maybe not 31. That one looked
Yeah,
just
I'm
like
glad you
shit.
pointed that out because we would get crucified on here like we get crucified on YouTube if we make one fucking mistake.
Which we do a lot because we drink. But I
I
do
drink
want to
soda.
say what bothers me so much about this, and it's not that crazy that someone put it down the list. I disagree with it. And like you, I fucking hate as much as I think Halloween's a good movie, the remake. I think it was a good movie, but I really fucking hate that they made Michael just the dude who grew up with a shitty mom and dad in a trailer park.
Yeah, the backstory was
Yeah.
unneeded.
Yeah, but if you once you get past all that, and it's comedic as fuck when you watch the family at the breakfast table and stuff. But once you get past all that, the actual Michael Myers, Loomis, Laurie Strode stuff is pretty fucking rad. But anyways, what bothers me so much about this is what he wrote about it. He said, "Do you know what hardly ever worked? Recreating film franchises in the mid 2000s with young, hot versions of old characters. Rob Zombie's attempt at breathing life into the franchise was a flop, failing to capture any of the film's original lore, part origin story. The setup never quite paid off in the end." Dude, that entire statement is so fucking wrong. Do you know how many awesome fucking horror franchises were brought back in the mid 2000s? They did a good job with those, man. The Jason reboot was fucking dope.
Oh,
Texas
dude,
Chainsaw
that was
Massacre.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Alba was fucking dope. I didn't mind the Amityville with Ryan Reynolds. I thought that was pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I mean, I understand what he's trying to say, but at the same time, I'm not sure that using Rob Zombie's Halloween as an example of a poor remake in the mid 2000s or early 2000s is going to do him any favors, because that's obviously one of the better examples of a remake that worked.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, there's a lot of other ones that blew asshole, but I mean, that's definitely not one of them. But either way, it's his opinion, and if he wants to be wrong on it, that's fine.
You ready? You ready to get fucking pissed?
Yeah.
You ready to get Macho Man pissed?
Bonesaw's ready.
Ooh, Bonesaw. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers at number 9.
Get the fucking bit, you. Oh my fuck. Someone read from the Necronomicon. He's possessed. He's not real. He's not real.
Actually, a lot of people, we're probably in the minority on this. This is not he's in the minority. I think a lot of people hate this fucking movie, but they're wrong.
Probably, but not that many, and not so many that would rank it that fucking low. What the shit? What did he ever do to you? What did George Wilbur ever do to you, sir? Nothing. Even though it wasn't George Wilbur was only in the very beginning of that movie, and then in the end was a totally different guy. But nonetheless, like, dude, to this day, there's one scene in The Curse of Michael Myers that is the best kill scene ever, and it's when he was killing people in the operating room with the strobe light effect.
I want to know why you want to take me to your strobe light city.
I mean, when that fucking thing is happening, like every goddamn Metallica AC/DC song is going on in my head at once. It's just a cacophony of fireworks and explosions of greatness when he's chopping those asses up.
I love
it looks so fucking. It's Michael unleashed, and even when Michael gets a little jig in his step when he's running in the hallway to kill that guy, I'm like, fuck yeah! And by the way, side note of that, in real life, the guy that he was chasing down the hallway turns out to was actually the actor that was playing Michael Myers in that scene's dad in real life. It was pretty interesting. But anyway, the guy that he pushes his head through the gate. But yeah, man, that movie was great as far as like what they had to work with with the end of Halloween 5. Not to mention the fact that it was based on the script of just a really super big fan that was able to write this and get this made. I mean, obviously it wasn't the exact script, I'm sure, that the fan wrote in, but dude, it was a brutal Jason. It was edgy. It had great characters. It had a great supporting cast.
You said Jason.
That's why I know I'm talking about Jason right now. No, I'm not. I meant Michael. But no, I don't know why I'm thinking about Jason.
Wrong movie, honey.
I guess we were doing all the Jason movies too, but I mean that's probably why I'm thinking of it. But anyway, but it had a great supporting cast around it. It had a brutal Michael. It had a visceral Michael. It had Loomis, Donald Pleasance's last appearance that I think they did a pretty good job. I wish that it had been expanded more, but unfortunately he died, so they couldn't really do that. And the fact that they brought Tommy back, and Paul Rudd did a phenomenal job with that character. I mean, dude, I really don't know what else you fucking wanted from that. If you would look at how bad Halloween 5 was, like, they had to perform a fucking miracle of Jesus walking on water to do anything, and they did, I think, an amazing job with Halloween 6.
You said it. I just wanted to let you go there because I knew you would cover all the same things I would say. That's what, and dude, Michael was. What's clear to me with this guy is that he doesn't like badass Michael Myers. Like he doesn't like the fucking, he hated Rob Zombie's version because Tyler Mane did a great job in the first film. And that Halloween 6 was, for all of its fucking problems. And yeah, the movie was chopped and edited to fucking hell. Both copies were awful edits, both the producers and the theatrical cut. But when you look at the entirety of the franchise, now, by movie terms, is it a good movie? No, it's got a lot of fucking movie flaws in it. A whole shitty fucking load of movie flaws in it. But for Halloween fans who can piece things together here and there and just wanted to see a fucking brutal, mean Michael that looked good and had a good fucking mask, The Curse of Michael Myers did a great thing, and it's got some of the funnest lore in it. When you talk about the Cult of Thorn and all that crazy shit that they had to do, and they had to tie together the Man in Black story, it's beholden to us for a whole different book of reasons. And also, it was always
I don't think we're wearing rose-colored glasses, when we review or discuss that movie, because I mean it did come out, when we were kids and we rented that movie over and over again. I mean, but we wouldn't have rented it over and over again if we didn't think it was amazing when we were kids. And to this day, I'll watch it and I still think it's a fucking great piece of movie, a cinematic adventure. But I mean, I understand that it's not like the perfect movie. It's still good. It's still fun.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. And it's just, I could get if someone goes, okay, that's not a good movie. Fine. Most people probably feel that way about this movie. But to say it's worse than the next one on the list, which is Halloween fucking 5, are you shitting me?
He put that one above 6?
Yeah.
Get this man a Tic Tac in his ass and an enema. This town needs an enema.
I don't know if you've realized it, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. We haven't touched on a movie yet that it's gonna blow your fucking face off. All right.
Yeah.
So next up is Halloween 5. Okay. All the reasons that that movie is bad, sure. But it should not be. It shouldn't. It's not better than Halloween 6. Just not.
No.
All right.
Okay, first
The
off, you're gonna
fucking
tell me that
mask.
yeah,
Hey.
the mask itself, like the motherfucker looks like a retired wrestler that came back for one more fight. He looks like Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. Like he just that's a terrible looking mask, and not to mention the fact that the mask totally changed when he fell in the fucking water at the end of Halloween 4. Like the mystical magical waters turned his mask different.
Yeah, he woke
Plus,
up to Crab
they
Man
cut out
2.
swaths of story. You know, even the guy. Oh my God, what's his name? The dude that played him, Don Shanks, in an interview when he was kind of when he was walking around set or the former locations that they filmed. He said there was the scene when he was supposed to have the thorn tattoo on his wrist, like the Dr. Death scene that was cut out of the movie. There was various other scenes that were cut out of that movie that would have made that movie way better and make more sense. That movie literally makes zero sense most of the time.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't make any sense.
And it was that French Dominique Othello that was like, well, I want to put a guy in black coming off a train or bus, perhaps how you say in America. I don't know.
Croissant!
But, croissant. But he was like, yeah, they were like, so what? Okay, what's the man in black? What's that mean? He's like, I don't know. It's just mysterious. I like it. Let the next writer figure it out. And then just fucking derailed the entire franchise for so long, confusing the fuck out of everybody. And again, he didn't even have the wherewithal to do the number one biggest movie sin of this entire franchise, which is to tuck in that fucking mask.
I can't
Tuck
stand that.
fucking mask in.
Like if I were being choked to death by Michael in that movie, the last thing I would do before my eyes close forever on this world is to reach out and put his mask in his fucking. I would tuck his mask in.
That's what Marilyn Manson wrote "Reach Out and Touch Fate" about.
Or Depeche Mode.
Oh
Reach
yeah,
out,
my
touch
bad, my
fate.
bad. Yeah, he remade it.
Yeah.
My bad.
But yeah, so yeah, but
Another
I would
mortal
reach out.
sin.
I would reach out blindly and say, Mike, your goddamn mask is not tucked in. And I would tuck his shit in. And then Michael's like, oh, thanks. Or I would give him a goddamn Snickers, like you're not yourself. Here, have a Snickers. And then he would change back to the original Michael Myers. But no, the thing is, I will not take away Don Shanks' performance in that. I think that Don Shanks actually did. I think his name's Don Shanks.
Agreed. Yeah,
He did a great job as Michael. Like he moved right. He was big. He was imposing, muscular dude. Like he played that part well. It was just like like they didn't even. It's like they didn't give a shit about the mask.
And so
like at that point, like you would have thought. Well, in Halloween 4, they didn't either. Not really. But you would have thought like they would have thought, maybe the mask is a little bit more iconic than we're giving it credit for, and maybe it does make the character. So maybe we should take some more time here and make that mask look good. And also, by the way, not fucking leave out swaths of information that's relevant and prevalent to the film, like as in the Dr. Death, which, according to Don Shanks, the very beginning of that movie that was supposed to be after he gets blown out of the mine shaft, the Dr. Death rescues him and over a year performs incantations, satanic rituals, tattooing the thorn tattoo on his wrist, which is eternal life, and brings him back the next year on Halloween night. And Don Shanks also explains that they cut out the best, not the best, but one of the best kill scenes of the entire movie, how he kills Dr. Death. So I mean, it's like that whole production was trouble because the director of that movie was also having a lot of issues with Akkad, because Akkad didn't like some of the brutal stuff that he was doing. And he also didn't like some of the bullshit that he was doing.
Yeah. Well, instead we got the different version of Dr. Death, Parrot Dr. Death, who looked like Popeye during the Great Spinach Depression of 1984.
What are you talking about?
The old fucking seaman.
Oh, Doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. And his fucking weird ass version with his goddamn parrot, and all that shit. That was just horrible. He looked like the world's worst Campbell's Chunky News.
Not to mention the fact that even when I was a kid, I was like, so that guy went out and bought him a new Halloween mask? Like, he just went out and bought him a new Michael Myers mask? It's like, your shit was damaged. Like, I'm going to get you this mask.
I stretched it.
Here you go, man. Hey, man, it's been hanging out there it's been hanging out there for about a year, man. I can't help what the elements do to it.
And he gave him a tattoo for free. Hey,
that fucking Michael Myers mask looks like he should be riding a John Deere tractor selling shit for Cabela's.
I always thought he looked like the that old painter's picture of the wife and the husband holding like
he does.
the tool shed shit.
Yeah, he does look
All
like
right.
that.
Anyway, let's move on because we got a lot of shit to get to on this fucking list. So number 8's Halloween 5. Number 7. Oh,
What has happened? Has your heart stopped?
number
Yeah, okay, or
7.
you're having an orgasm.
Jay, have you realized yet that we have not fucking mentioned Halloween Resurrection yet?
I
That it
have.
is better in his mind than number 7, Halloween 4?
I have no more words. I'm going to end the podcast early on my side. I can't take this much more. I
Number,
can't take this.
number 7 is Halloween 4. Number
Dude,
6
are you,
is Halloween Resurrection.
Die, Michael! Die! Michael! Michael! You don't have a police force! Dude, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Did this guy even watch the fucking movies, or need to go to like IMDb or Wikipedia and read about them and like, hey, I'm just gonna make my list based on this? I'm not, look, he might be a great guy, maybe he's a wonderful person and a great husband, but he's an asshole and a moron when it comes to these kind of rankings. I'm sorry, sir. Your credit is revoked. I would actually love to talk to him about that specifically. I would love to have him like on our podcast or go to his podcast and just like to have him fucking defend how that works.
Let me give his explanation for it at least here, because in a way he's here with us in his writings and his words.
I don't even want him to be here with words.
Before I go into this, let me quickly say why Halloween 4 is a great fucking Halloween film. Number 1, it has the most Halloween atmosphere of any, and dare I say even the first original film. It has more Halloween atmosphere than any of the films in the franchise. That opening alone fucking squeegee juices Halloween atmosphere.
Yeah,
okay?
Terrific.
Yeah. Number 2, there were some great fucking kills in that movie. Number 3, Haddonfield never felt better. Mm-hmm. You got the Brady kill. You got with the fucking shotgun, or not the shotgun, but that rifle to the face. You had the opening with the thumb through the head of the ambulance driver. You had peak fucking Loomis, except for maybe the first movie. But
it was still it was crazy town fucking Loomis at that point.
And that's sure.
I love that version of Loomis. I love that version.
Yeah, it was crazy fucking Loomis. But you had it was souped up Loomis, which, by the way, the number one take that I had on Las Vegas, Jay, is that their homeless people are like super zombie homeless people. Like, they are rabid. That's all I'm gonna say.
They look like what was that Brad Pitt movie with the zombies in it?
World
War Z. Yeah.
They're like fucking super hobos, dude.
Oh, shit. It's a super shredder.
Yeah, it's like they've evolved. It's fucking weird. Anyways, but yeah, I have no idea how I got to that point. But yeah, sure. Michael's mask looks like someone just stuck a thumb up his butt because he always looks surprised.
Yeah, or Data from the Star Trek: The Next Generation, a mannequin that walked out of the store.
Yeah, and as good as George P. Wilbur did, as much as I like that guy, the mask plus the goofy shoulder pads that gave more bad. But despite that, dude, it's one of the best Halloween movies in my opinion.
Dude, like when I think of Halloween, like the season of Halloween, like as far as like, you think of fucking candy corn and goddamn trick or treating and pumpkin spice and Halloween 4, you fucking Mr. Dumb shit asshole, not Mr. Nice, writer of Esquire. I don't know. Halloween 4, yeah, dude, like it's the perfect fall movie. Like, it really is. Like they just shot that movie so well, and it looked so good, and the music was on point. And Michael, despite his mask looking like that, he still did a phenomenal performance. Loomis had at that point become obsessed with Michael to the point where it was almost he was as crazy as Michael Myers himself. Yep. And I don't know, everything. Like, the only thing I didn't like about that film, really, at the end was the very end of it with the whole Jamie thing. I didn't like the psychic, telepathic bullshit that they try to pull in. I don't know why they have to do that for her. Like, she's not fucking Jean Grey. I don't know why that shit was even in there. But nonetheless, I still thought it was a superior movie. And you're gonna put fucking Resurrection above that goddamn horseshit?
Which gets me
Well,
to his reasoning. For Halloween 4, he says, this is just a cat. I haven't even read the Resurrection. I can't wait to see his fucking excuse for that. He says, this is just a categorically bad film that attempted to find a franchise still lost in the weeds. Donald Pleasance returns as Dr. Loomis, but that's about where the fanfare stops, criticized for its lack of direction and actual suspense. Halloween 4 is a bit of a non starter and isn't actually bad enough to be noted upon. What?
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about as far as like lack of suspense. That movie had suspense written all over it. If it was any more fucking suspenseful, you'd be watching the O.J. Simpson trial live. Like I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. That makes zero sense. Like the whole idea of Michael Myers, like he was in a coma at the very beginning of the movie. He's all wrapped up in gauze and shit, and then we have Jamie Lloyd, which is a new character, and the way they build that atmosphere kind of play up. I thought they did a phenomenal job with suspense and atmosphere. You didn't even know what Michael. I mean, you knew what his purpose was, but like getting back to Haddonfield, and going to that gas station, like dude, the whole fucking thing was fucking thematic and suspenseful. Like I feel like if you were gonna like they Falcon kick back to the forefront after being absent with Michael Myers since 1982
Yeah, I
or
mean,
1980. I mean,
if
80.
if you give a shit about Michael Myers at all, like I feel like it's suspenseful. Clearly this dot I don't it doesn't feel like he does, which I don't know why the fuck he's writing this article about it, but whatever, man. Live your life. I'm not here
Because
to tell
that's
you
what
what
you
to do.
do after high school.
Next one, as we know, is Halloween Resurrection.
Oh,
There's
man.
we all know why. We don't have to explain why
Yeah,
this
I
is
don't.
fucking wrong. Okay, we don't have to talk about it. But let's just hear what he has to say. He says Halloween Resurrection deserves your respect and admiration. First and foremost, Laurie Strode returns in full form after the 1998 venture.
Oh my god.
But more than that, and I guess this makes more sense. More than that, this film is so incredibly bad that it nearly careens towards being good. Starring alongside Curtis is Busta Rhymes, that's not a typo. Tyra Banks, not a typo, and Sean William Scott. Oh, that is a typo. Oh wow, still not a type. Sean William Scott's not in that fucking movie.
No, he's not. It was the guy from Rookie of the Year.
Am I getting someone's name here confused?
Sean William Scott was fucking Stifler. He wasn't in that movie. Was he
That's
in
what.
that movie?
No, he definitely was not in that movie.
No, yeah, it was dude. The only one that I remember from that movie is, uh, yeah, Tyra Banks, Buster Rhymes, and then the kid from fucking, which I had no idea. I thought his arm was still broke. Rookie
Yeah,
of the Year and American Pie alumni.
no, he's wrong. Like, yeah, that I thought for surely he was talking about someone else, but he's literally talking. I just googled it. It's Sean William Scott Stifler, and he says, "Oh, this is a typo. Oh wow,
I think
still
he was.
not a."
Oh, maybe he was making a joke
Well,
about
no,
how badly the.
that's what I was
Yeah.
getting to. He said, "Oh, this is a typo. Oh wow, still not a typo." No, that's a typo, dude. That's a whole wrong name.
Look, I mean, yeah, like you said, like it's extensively documented on our YouTube channel, and we could go in for hours about why that fucking movie was so terrible and how badly they ruined the character of Michael Myers, and not only just the character, but the legacy of Halloween with that bullshit movie. Not as bad as, well, I mean, like again, it's a coin toss about who did it worse, them or Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. But don't ever fucking think like this guy's almost trying to say it was so bad it was good, careening toward this. No, you're basically saying they did it on purpose. They didn't do that on purpose. I think they were legitimately trying to make a good movie, and it fucking sucked. They were cashing in on what was popular at the time, which was that real world road rules bullshit with the handheld cameras that was what they were doing. And they thought Buster Rhymes was a really cool. He was really popular back then. So they were like, yeah, we'll throw him in there and see what happens. It was fucking terrible. It was the worst idea you could do. You make Michael Myers a bitch. And you're talking about Jamie Lee Curtis premieres and comes back in full force. She looked like she had been not sleeping for 3 days. And it's like, I have to do this before my Activia commercial in 2 hours.
I
Like
do
she doesn't look good at all.
I do gotta say that I did like the Jamie stuff at the beginning. That was the
The
only
thing
part
about
that
the
I
Jamie
liked.
Lee Curtis stuff, it's not bad. The fact that she's in it, it's great. But the problem is that she was supposed to be done with H2O. And like every time I watch her performance, I think it's just because she's a good actress. But nonetheless, it's like this thing in her, like while she's doing the scenes, it's just she's going through the motions because she's like, this is stupid. And then her death is uneventful and not cinematic and not
Well,
thematic. It's not, well, the whole thing was just like, this was like squeegeed in, like added in at, or they had to put something in there to connect H2O and Halloween Resurrection.
I
It was
agree
just
that her death in the beginning, like what ends up being her death is stupid. But I liked the first part of it, and actually, Jamie Lee Curtis, despite what she says today, she actually came on set, and she was only supposed to have like a 30-second cameo or some shit like that contractually, but she liked the idea of what they were doing so much that she stayed on to film for like 3 days or something like that
Yeah, she
because
wanted to get the fuck out of the script.
she was actually into what they were doing on the set of that movie, which is crazy as fuck. But I don't know. Now, yeah, dude, there's no like you could say it's so bad it's almost good, but it's just not. I don't find this movie
And not to
be
mention the
bad
fact that
good at all.
when Michael
Annoying.
Myers is walking down the crazy hall and he passes that one guy that's rattling off all the fucking, serial killers, and he's like, Michael
Yeah.
Myers, born, night, and all that stuff. By the way, Michael Myers' mask in that movie looks like some 41 lead singer with his spiky ass hair and shit. Like, he looks short as shit. Like, it just looked terrible. And he's walking around like in a half pace. But, it looked like the beginning of an American Horror Story. Like, it was like that kind of feel to it. Like, not that we like American Horror Story, but it wasn't a Halloween movie at all.
Right. Yeah, totally agree. I don't. There's not much you need to say about that. I think that stupid ass fucking choice speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Next
Was
up,
Buster Rhymes like hanging out with this guy while he was writing this article?
Number 5. Yeah, he got them all a check. Number 5, Halloween 2, the 1981 version. That's
pretty low on the list.
Low. Yeah, considering Halloween 4 is not even in the top 5, that's pretty goddamn low on the list. His reasoning says this is where this is dumb. This is where it all went wrong. After a massive success with the first film, Halloween 2 came along and fell apart so hard that Curtis didn't even return for the third installment. It wasn't about her. And she did return as the lady on the speakers. Attempting to recreate magic of the first, the hospital set film falls into cliche quickly before seemingly stalling out and going nowhere. Most critics agree that Halloween 2 derailed the franchise for a long, long time before correcting course years later.
I'm not sure what movie you fucking watched. I mean, were you wearing like an eye patch or something and like blurry? You had stigmatism in your other eye, like that wasn't patched up. What the fuck was he watching? Like that makes zero sense. What do you mean it derailed it? There was nothing wrong with Halloween 2. Like I could understand there were certain scenes in Halloween 2, or maybe the way that it went. Like I don't. Maybe some people got bored in some way of it, but I never got. Like, dude, there were some classic
You're fucking
iconic
up.
scenes. Huh?
Your mic's going like.
How about now?
Yeah, it's good now.
Okay. Well, like I said, I can understand that some people might have gotten bored of certain elements in the film. Like, sure, fine, whatever. And the creepy guy that's like basically worse of a stalker than Michael is, that hangs out with Jamie all night in the hospital room. Like that guy's weird. Like I get it, but still, that had some iconic scenes in it for sure. Like with the scalpel when he picks the nurse up and holds her up. That's fucking awesome. When he walks through the plexiglass. An unstoppable force.
Again, I think it's something, dude. I think fans of Michael Myers will find 1,000 things to like about that movie. But if you're just not a fan of Michael Myers and the Halloween franchise, then I think you get that. I thought he was dead wrong, man. But turns out, actually, when you look at which John Carpenter is used to this, not that he directed this, but most movies he's involved with get shit on when they come out.
Did he write some? Didn't he? I thought he wrote some.
He wrote it.
For that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, he just didn't direct it. But. Yeah, 28% Rotten is what it has now.
Oh my God, Rotten Tomatoes, the most reliable source for movie reviews ever.
I know. I feel like that's kind of maybe what he did when he made this article. Maybe he only watched Halloween Resurrection and then just got the rest of the reviews from Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know.
I mean, if you can't trust Rotten Tomatoes in this world for not delivering the goods and the honest news, who can you trust, son of a bitch? But no, here's the thing. I will say. There are weak points in Halloween 2, but to put it at number 5, dude, that seems real fucking low. I mean, especially if you really consider the fact that it was really Halloween 1 and 2 were the same movie. It all took place in the same night. You know what I mean? And also to go as far to say that it was a derailment movie, that it derailed the series.
It had its problems, but it doesn't. It's still, like you said, it's like a fucking really, really good expansion pack to Halloween. Like it doesn't touch the original Halloween in my opinion, but it was
what was ever going to do that?
Yeah, it was a really nice follow up to it. For all intents and purposes, and it certainly doesn't belong in any fucking ranking next to Resurrection. That is goddamn blasphemy. Next up in his list is Halloween 3. That one, honestly, like Halloween 3, I think is the one movie that you can never judge unless someone puts it at number 1 above the original. I don't think you can ever judge where someone puts that movie because it's just a personal taste fucking movie.
Yeah, it's not one of those movies that really fit in. Only, as far as like it fits in with the Halloween series, I guess, in its own way. But yeah, it's not a Michael Myers film at all. And it was almost like it was an experiment by them to do something with like like dark or Tales from the Crypt, like its own like unique storyline telling. They were going to go off on their own tangent and start telling different horror stories underneath the Halloween title, and that was
Yeah,
an experiment, and that's all it was. I don't have a problem with it being high on a list. I just don't think it's better than Halloween 2.
agreed.
Like I don't. I mean, and it was a great movie. Like as far as like it was cheesy, yeah. And there's a lot of coining in the movie, but I would. I mean, if someone put it in a list, and if you had a top 200 Halloween movies or something, and you put it up there pretty decently in there, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. But I mean, I don't like again. It's not to me going to be above Halloween 2.
Yeah, I'm with you. His number three is Halloween H2O, which doesn't surprise me. And from what else I've been reading, look, Halloween H2O's it's beholden by a lot of people. Like a lot of people really, really like this movie.
Mm.
For us, it's never been our favorite. It's always been mediocre to me personally because while entertaining and it was nice to be of age to see a Halloween movie in the theaters, and I'm glad that the studio put money in behind it and Jamie Lee Curtis is back and everybody was excited. It holds some nice memories for me, but it's a wannabe Scream in a lot of places. It's way too clean, way too shiny. The mask looked like ass.
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis was great in the film. Josh Hartnett was cool. Ella Cool J was fucking awesome. Chris Duran didn't do a bad job as Michael. It's just the mask and some of the other shit.
I don't hate the movie. I don't like the movie necessarily. But yeah, like you said it right. Like the clean version, like it just feels very polished. It just feels like it's like Joel Schumacher when he took over and then he did Batman and Robin, and there's fucking nipples on the suit, and there's like shiny stuff. Like I don't know. It's very movie cinematic production, high value Michael Bay Bruckheimer shit. Like I don't know. Like
Yep.
it doesn't feel into the grittiness of Halloween and Michael. Like you got to get down that dirt, bitch. You got to get down here hard in that sewer.
And
When you're talking about Michael Myers.
there's almost no good kills in this movie. I don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it was just too clean, man. Like it was just
yeah.
it was like making a Gears of War movie or something and making it PG or something or making Deadpool PG or G. I don't know.
Yeah, and I really disagree with his reasoning for having it for so low, so high on the list because he says, "Listen, this lands high for a lot of reasons. A, Michelle Williams is here. Like, dude,
Okay,
Michelle Williams was not
cool.
Michelle Williams when this movie came out. She was a fucking teenage high school actor. Like,
I don't want to wait for our lives to be over.
it says, and B, it largely ignores 4 of the 6 films that preceded it, which is honestly for the best. That was a fucking bad choice. It was bad
Yeah,
choice.
that was dumb.
And I only say that because, like, I know that we like Halloween 2018, and Halloween 2018 did the same thing. But in the original scripts for this movie, they had it tied in where they could very quickly and easily explained 4, 5, and 6. Maybe not easily, but they had it in there. It was written in the script. It would have taken up just a minute of the movie, and they could have explained the entirety of 4, 5, and 6 and what had gone on. So I didn't like that they left it out. And
I
also,
feel like yeah, well, and also that Danielle Harris had become such a beloved character throughout 4 and 5. Yeah, like not to at least add a little nod in her direction was kind of a bitchy thing to do. So
yeah, and then so it says, which is honestly for the best. Halloween was a film. Great. Halloween as a franchise. There are many serious bumps in the road. Outside of the top 2 film slots, this is the one that felt most true to the original and hits on the 20th anniversary. It feels like an appropriate time to check in on Laurie Strode, make sure she's not absolutely bonkers. Yeah, I don't disagree with the rest of it that much. But
yeah,
Halloween, his second favorite Halloween movie, which I don't disagree with this very much. I can't remember. I think Halloween 4 came in at our second. But Halloween 2018 was maybe right after
yeah.
that.
I mean, you can. I'm not gonna dog him on that because that movie's fucking incredible, and the music score alone is insane. Like
Yeah.
like the movie itself, Halloween 2018 is really fucking amazing film. But I would never put it above the original Halloween. But
Mm-mm.
I would say the music score in the music scoring of 2018 Halloween might make it above the original Halloween. Just for the composition of the music by
Oh,
itself.
you just mean if you compare the 2 scores.
Just the
Just the
scores.
Yeah, I get
Yeah,
you.
not the movies. Yeah, the Halloween 2018 is always going to be inferior. I mean, there's never going to be another like the original. Like never, ever, ever. But the Halloween 2018, if you're gonna put it at number 2 on your list, I couldn't argue with that. I'd be like, yeah, man, that movie is fucking good, and the mask looked great. Michael came back with, it had all the elements that we loved about Halloween 4 and 6. That it had a vicious Michael Myers. It also had a very Halloween feel to it, or a fall feel to it, and it also paid respect to a lot of the things that had gone on before without having to directly do it.
Yep, it had good kills. It did a good thing with Jamie Lee Curtis's acting. It did a decent thing with Laurie Strode's character. Took it into a serious tone at times with her. They took Michael seriously.
Somebody threw a phone in a banana pudding.
That is mostly important. What I wanted from it all, from all of it. And number one's obviously Halloween. He didn't go that crazy with it, so it's basically the ranking. But at the end, it lands just about right. But it's buddy, what the fuck? Some of those choices.
It's like watching a shitty fucking basketball team that keep floundering and making terrible fucking substitutions and mistakes early on in the season, and then finally they get it right at the end, but they're not going to get the playoffs now. Like, you did good at the end, but you're not going to make it. Like, you finally got your shit together, but it's too late, sir.
Yeah, congratulations, you made the layup. You made a layup in warm-ups. Fuck you. But yeah, so that's it, guys. What do you guys think? Fuck. What's your all's ranking? Comment below wherever you're listening to this podcast at. This one might end up, I don't know, I thought it was pretty fun. Might end up putting it on the YouTube as well. Who knows? But if you haven't subscribed to our podcast, subscribe to it on Stitcher, iTunes, all that shit. And hey, if you're actually enjoying this right now, I think it's doing a really good thing for us. I think if we are anywhere near as highly as it tells us we're ranking in podcasts, and you want to help, the coolest thing, I think, if you go on iTunes and give us whatever ranking you think we deserve, honestly.
Well, don't say that, because I don't want to get a 1.
Justin Kirkland has rated your podcast 0.5 stars.
Fuck yes. Well, at least we got the 0.5. Is that because we said you did well with your fucking number 1?
Yeah, Justin.
Fucking, you know what? The goddamn Stevie Wonder would have ranked 1978 Halloween number 1, and he's never even seen movies.
No, and again, I'm not shitting on your writing. It's a well written article, Justin. If you're hearing this, and if you'd ever like to come on the podcast, and we could have this discussion, that we could have a friendly argument about it for sure.
No, he's a good man, I'm sure.
Nobody go like shit on his page or anything like that. This was meant to be fun. It's all fun. We disagree about movies. It's supposed to be fun.
Me and Mike are fucking idiots when it comes to a lot of things. As far as like, I mean, we thought like we like Con Air. So,
yeah, I fucking love Con Air, man.
Con Air is fucking, just put down the bunny.
Yeah, if we like did a ranking of art house films, you would fucking hate our ranking too. So
yeah.
I don't know if that's what you're into. I'm just assuming from those choices.
Whatever.
But yeah. But yeah, guys, if you would go rank our podcast, we really, really appreciate it. That would help us a lot. And I hope you keep listening and check us out on YouTube. And again, for you fucking YouTube people, Saturday night, 10:26, it's going to get spooky in my pants.
1.21 gigawatts bringing plutonium.
10:30 p.m. Eastern. You can ask us whatever questions you want. You can ask Michael and Loomis whatever questions you want.
It's gonna get, where we're going, you won't need roads.
You ripped my shirt.
Oh, I'll cut you out the knees.
Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you.
See you guys.
What are you going to do on October 31st?
What are you gonna do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you wanna know about the darkness?
I said, God damn.
God damn you, faggot!
I said, God damn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael! What are you gonna do on October 31st?